All right, and welcome everyone to a new edition, a new season of the RF Sports Radio Show. I am Rodney Fisher, joined by my co-host Royce Fisher. You guys can see he is to my he's to my side this way, I believe. so, so I want to welcome you guys to a brand new program. We got a lot to get into, talking about last season, talk about this upcoming basketball season. As you guys know, this is the time of the year when we get busy talking to players, talking to coaches, going to games, giving you all the analysis that you need for basketball, for sports in general. And this is kind of what our 15th season.
Yeah,
Are we veterans now?
they're veterans now.
Yeah, we veterans now. So we're not new to the podcast game by far, for sure. So we've been doing this for quite some time. So let's jump right into it. I want to start by recapping, Royce, because it's been a while since we talked about it last year and the whole bubble. I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were at that last game
Boy,
of the season when the Mavs were playing, and they were really the last in-person basketball game
right.
since. Then they go to this whole bubble format. Initially, what did you think about how all that kind of happened, and overall how the bubble works?
First off, it was so weird that they even stopped. That pandemic changed everything. And first, let me say this. I was glad to see an NBA championship and the game to begin with. I thought we weren't going to ever happen, but I was glad we had a chance to have them. And I must give the NBA an A because they did an excellent job. Once they got everything set up, they did the bubble, nobody got sick. Nobody caught COVID, and really was nothing else to watch. No sports, and we got to watch basketball, and I really enjoyed it. I thought we had some pretty good games. I really do. I think they did
Yeah,
it.
it was interesting. We talked about, first of all, should the players even go? Should they leave their families and go to the bubble? How would it happen? I mean, I think me and you both thought that there's no way these guys are gonna stay in this hotel for.
They weren't gonna lose their family.
Yeah, exactly. And the guys put it off to their credit. And I think because they wanted to have this platform to really talk about, as you can see behind me, like Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on in the country at the time, they decided to kind of use this as a way to kind of get the message out in a timely manner. So I give them a lot of credit for that. But I think what I'm starting to realize though, more than ever, is that was harder than I think people are giving the guys credit for. To be able to go down there from your family, playing game after game after game, practice after practice. I think 10 years from now we'll look back at that and really think highly of the guys that made those type of sacrifices.
Yeah, it was a big sacrifice. You're absolutely right. To leave your family. Even some of the players have illness in their family. They had to leave the newborn babies. Their wives. It was a big sacrifice. I'm glad they did. Like you say, there was a lot going on. The pandemic, George Floyd murder. You
Hmm.
know, the protests.
Yeah.
You know, and it was kind of calm in the midst of all this storm. You got to see
Hmm.
basketball, and like I said earlier, we saw some real good games, excellent games.
Yeah. It was
Not
Jim Bob. It
satisfied,
was. Yeah.
satisfied with the winner. I know you are.
I'm.
But it
I'm
was a catch-up
absolutely.
for the Lakers.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and and that's why I bring up about how hard it is, because I want to hear the credit you're going to give the Lakers for winning the championship the way they did against all the adversity they had to face, and all the talk about LeBron being kind of older. Um, but they pulled it off. They won a legitimate NBA championship, and LeBron even mentioned on a recent podcast that he thinks that championship was probably one of his best or hardest to win of the four that he does have.
Well, I would say this. I think the Lakers was the most focused team out of all the teams there.
Mm,
LeBron, as you watch over that 5 month period, all you saw was him training. I didn't see no other player train as hard as LeBron James.
yeah.
So by him being focused, he got the whole team focused. You had teams like the Clippers and Brooklyn. Guys didn't even want to come, show up. Guys showed up late. Montrezl Harris in and out.
Yeah.
And I think the Lakers was the most focused by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You
Yeah.
know, he got his whole team into shape. They practiced together. He corralled them. He was the leader. And that was a problem with a lot of these teams. They didn't have a leader.
Yeah.
Nobody knew the truth. I
That's a
thought
good
LeBron
point.
did a good job.
That's a good point. They were by far the most focused team. Those teams that have made big trades and acquisitions like the Clippers did with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, being in that bubble, if you haven't gelled as a team before you got there, that
And they
environment
barely played.
wasn't gonna help it happen for sure.
Yeah, they barely played as a cohesive unit, because
Yeah.
injuries and all that. And that was another thing that made it kind of easy for the Lakers, all the injuries. You
Hmm.
know, the guys that did show up were out of shape. You could tell they got hurt real quick. And some of the injuries could have been avoided had they continued on from March or even had a train like LeBron James did.
Yeah. But
So I think
that bubble did make a few new stars, I think. Guys really took the opportunity away from crowds in a gym, more like a rec league kind of environment, and they really, really blossomed. And the younger players benefited the most. I mean, you could tell, they were back in time in a more easier element for them. The younger players not having to go on the road in the playoffs, no real home court advantage. They were able to pull things off. You saw what Denver did in
absolutely.
the playoffs. You saw what the Miami Heat did in the playoffs. So that just tells you exactly that when you're playing that kind of ball, which this season is going to be similar to a degree. You want to go to a bubble, but they're talking about no fans. So you think this carries over with this no home court advantage, this the young players stepping up. You think that kind of carries over into this season?
But we'll see. I call the bubble rec ball because that's what it reminds me of. Going up to the neighborhood rec center, the same guys, shooting gym. They win one night, you win the next day. That to me was the most competitive time I can remember growing up. Going up to the gym, you had rivalries,
Right.
and it was totally different from playing with the school in front of a crowd. Because you got to know your opponent, you got to know his moves. Uh, it was a one-on-one competition more or less than a team competition, because you faced the guy over and over. You
Right.
ate together. It was like hanging out in the same neighborhood. You
Hmm.
know, they ate together. They slept in the same dorm. They were confined together. So that's what made it more. Those guys should have really felt good about that, not having to travel. Not having to stay in different hotels. You were safe long you were in the bubble.
Right.
The virus. That's probably the safest place to be
Probably
if you're
was
not
safest place.
in
Yeah.
the bubble. But it's gonna be interesting to see how this season comes and if they
Yeah.
have fans there. I know they missed the fans. I'm a fan. I want to go back and see NBA this year. So
Well,
I'm hoping we do.
there's talk about this kind of play-in tournament at the end of the year, kind of to mimic that atmosphere, giving teams a chance. Or they talked about having another tournament, kind of a mid-season tournament. So the NBA's left a lot of options open on their table. I mean, they only released the first half of the schedule right now because if football is any indication of what we got to look forward to, we're talking about moving games, guys not being able to play for a period of time. I mean, it could get very interesting, for a team when you only have, really a core five guys to depend on, and one of them has to miss a week or, I mean, you're talking about 6, 7 games.
Yeah, whoever thought we'd see a football game on Tuesday.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and that was postponed I don't know how many times. We do
I
it,
think
it's the NBA.
I think we had you muted for just a second. What'd you say again?
I said if anybody can do it, it's the NBA.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the trades that were made this season. Some names moving to some other teams. Gonna be in some different uniforms. Some teams got better. Some teams may have gotten worse. I guess time would tell. The one trade I want to talk about first is the one that kind of happened first, and that was the Chris Paul trade from Oklahoma City going to Phoenix to be with a young Phoenix team.
Wow.
I mean, if you talk about any team that needs some kind of leadership that has their raw talent, that
Right.
needs the leadership like a Devin Booker or DeAndre Ayton. I mean, this is kind of the perfect place to have a general like Chris Paul to step in.
Well, who's they were the Cinderella team of the bubble.
Yeah,
No, they surprised everybody. They were last place. They played great, even though they didn't make it to the finals. We saw Devin Booker grow up on TV right in front of our eyes, and that team was lacking just one player. And I think Chris Paul is the player. He's gonna bring a lot of uh, smarts. These guys are gonna grow up real quick. Can you hear me? Yeah, these guys are gonna grow up real quick, and they got a legit leader, Chris Paul.
yeah. Chris, if Chris could take that Oklahoma City Thunder team to the playoffs last year,
And the
and,
Rockets.
and imagine what he could do with this Phoenix Suns team that they really went undefeated in the bubble, except for that last game. You know, they didn't make the playoffs, but you take a guy like that, put him on that team. I mean, it makes him a playoff contender for sure. I
Yeah,
think.
that to me was the most surprising team in the bubble. I tell you, they were the. I enjoyed watching. Them. They put on a show. They were fantastic. They gave everybody a scare, a run for their money. They say they were undefeated, and I think they're gonna go to the next level. I never thought I'd see it in Phoenix, but it's looking good in Phoenix.
Yeah, it is. Well, a Eastern Conference team kind of opened up their wallet a little bit to get better. That was the Atlanta Hawks. They added a lot of veteran players, good leadership on their team. Ray John Rondo, Bogdanovic. I mean, they got a guard tandem that's pretty
Absolutely,
nice. That's pretty nice.
Gallinari,
Yeah,
Gallinari.
Gallinari as well.
Yeah, they got
So
some shooters.
the Hawks got better. Even the Hornets, um, getting Gordon Hayward,
Right.
and drafting LaMelo Ball. So they're trying some different things to kind of get going. Gave Hayward a lot of cash to come
My
to Charlotte.
prediction on that, but the metal ball will have more turnovers in the NBA than anybody.
Yeah, we mark this, guys. Mark those words.
You mark that word. I guarantee he has the most turnovers in the NBA.
Well,
But
the thing is with the rookie class, we haven't got a chance to see a lot of these guys
right,
play because they cut the college season short. Basketball was cut short in period last year, so we haven't seen a lot of these guys play yet. So I'll
well,
reserve judgment until I see a couple of games.
maybe Michael Jordan to take him up under his wing and teach him how to play and make him a better player. Because if anybody you want to mimic a pattern your game after, that's Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
So is he gonna be hands on or if he's not gonna be involved in his development?
yeah, we gonna see. I'm sure he would like to get involved since he is the owner of the team. So I'm sure he wants to get involved. Well,
Well,
let's talk about the big story. The guys down south, the Rockets, are our friends in South Texas. Well, what
well,
what what do you think about this? Just give me your overall thoughts about everything that's happened with the Rockets the last couple of years with Harden and the guys leaving, and now his friend supposedly Russell Westbrook is out the door, and he's in Washington. He's a Wizard now.
well, it's a lot of backstory to that. I think they both fell out with the owner. And one thing about Houston, they have tried everything under the sun to try to get a championship down in Houston. They did everything for James Harden. And even when they traded for Westbrook, I didn't think that was going to work. I mean, you
Yeah.
had two alpha males, going at each other. And it's really Harden team. He's not going to relinquish that reign to
Hmm.
anybody. And I thought that was an experiment that wasn't going to work anyway. But they tried. And I give them credit for that. With the general manager leaving and then Tony leaving, they just blew the whole thing up.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna start from scratch. They can't keep some key players. Nowhere in the world I would let Jeff Harden leave. He'll have to play out of his contract. I mean, who do you trade to get better than James Harden?
There's no player that you could trade for James Harden. It's just It's just not going to happen. There's no equal value unless you get Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry. I mean, it would take something like that for me to even entertain trading a guy like James Harden. That's going to give you a triple double every night. Gonna score 30 points a night. I mean, you can't do that. Not in this NBA.
And then we gotta look at the new coaching change.
Yeah,
Stevenson,
Coach Silas.
yeah. How's it gonna work? He's a young
Well,
guy.
he's already getting thrown in the fire.
But
Luckily, he's got this coaching. He's got a great coaching pedigree from his dad.
absolutely, and he's
And
been around
it
for like
being with the Maverick staff for a long time under Carlisle. So
he's been around for a while, like 13 years. He seems to
yeah,
be a smart guy. I know him from being with the Mavs. It's a good opportunity, but everybody say he was on a lot of people's list.
yeah.
D'Antoni's coaching is totally different from everybody. It's interesting to see how they run the offense, and I didn't see them getting any key acquisition, doing the offset. I'm trying to find somebody that they got, they didn't do much.
Well, they other than the trade for John Wall, that's really it. I mean, they signed DeMarcus Cousins.
Right.
Him and John Wall played together in Kentucky. So they know each other. But DeMarcus Cousins has been out of basketball for a while, just like John Wall's been out for almost 2 years. So it's really hard to know, what to expect from them.
They get 75% of John Wall of the whole. That's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Because Westbrook was kind of a letdown for that team, especially in the bubble.
Well, let me say this. Westbrook and John Wall is not a fair trade. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there, man. The Wizards got over on the Rockets on this deal. You give me Westbrook and Bradley Beal together, I'll take that over Harden and John Wall all day, every day. Westbrook is kind of like a true one. He wants the ball in his hands. Bill just wants to post up and shoot threes. He's a great scorer. He's a great two. That's the perfect, to me, Washington is going to be the surprise team in the East by far. People are not ready. The Eastern Conference teams are not ready to face Russell Westbrook on a consistent basis. No. If he could average a triple-double 2 years in a row in the West, on the Oklahoma City Thunder team without Kevin Durant, and he goes with a shooter like Bradley Beal in the East, the Wizards are going to be the shocking team in the East. I think the Wizards have a chance of being even better than the 76ers in the East.
Hey, I agree with that if it works.
If it works.
If it works.
But I've seen some YouTube videos that are out there showing practice at Wizards camp. I mean, Westbrook is there. He's there. He's practicing. He's getting along with the guys. He's high-fiving guys. He's bought in to being a Washington Wizard. Meanwhile, Harden just showed up in Houston. Absolutely, he hasn't passed all the COVID tests yet. He's not practicing. He's not there with the team.
He wasn't able to get there either.
Yeah, it's obvious that, like you said it best, that Harden no longer wants to play for the Rockets. Right. Period. He doesn't want to play for that right. owner. He came out and said something about his owner's support for Donald Trump really bothered him.
Yeah.
And I think that bridge is burned. Now, what Houston does, I don't know.
He said he'd go anywhere. He'd go to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He demanded the trade.
And I think what you do, though, if you're Houston, though, Royce, I think you're right. I think you go ahead and just go ahead and push that other button. You already got rid of the GM. You already got rid of Russell Westbrook. You already got rid of the head coach. You got a new head coach in there. You got 2 players coming back off of injury. You might as well trade Harden now and try to get, some serviceable players and some draft picks back some kind of way. I think that's what you do.
A mid-season trade.
Because, that's what I was going to say. It got to be.
Yeah, they're going to do something mid-season to make a trade, a big trade for Star to go along with Harden. But, another question is, what is John Wall going to be like?
Who knows? I mean, I've seen some workout footage, but as we know, working out in the gym, running in the gym and being in the NBA is totally different.
Well, if we get 75% of the old John Wall, that'll be pretty good. And that could get them in a eighth spot, seventh spot, maybe.
Mm. I think it's gonna be. I don't think Harden's gonna finish the season as a Rocket.
You don't think
I
so?
I don't think so. I think it's gonna get so bad they're gonna have to get rid of him or trade him, whatever the case may be. I mean, it's already bad now, and preseason hadn't started yet. So I can only imagine after they start losing a few games and things are not going right, what happens at that point. And if one of those other guys get injured, a Boogie Cousins or a John Wall gets injured, I mean, you don't have a season anyway.
That's true.
You don't
But
have a season anyways. But
yeah,
here's a team I think that I'm going to go on record. I'm gonna make my bold prediction, just like you did.
okay.
One of the things I think is going to happen is I think that the team to think about a trade for James Harden are the Golden State Warriors.
Oh yeah, if they can
They,
afford it.
they've got picks. They've
And
got
then
players they could trade. They could trade Wiggins. They could trade.
Thompson down, he's out for the season.
That's the
He's
team I
playing with
would.
them.
That's the team I would definitely keep my ears out for making a trade for James Harden. Nobody. He's talking about 76ers and all this stuff. First of all, they're not giving up their two guys. So you can't think about a
Right.
superstar for a superstar swap. You got to get back good players and picks if you're the Rockets. I mean, you got
And
to rebuild.
Houston might as well blow it up and start all over because the chemistry wasn't working. They tried everything. You might as well just blow it up, start over a whole new team. But I didn't think about that. If anybody could pull it off, the Warriors could. You
Yeah,
know, I would love to see him in Dallas. I know that's almost impossible. I give
yeah,
up everybody, but
yeah. Everybody can go.
I think most teams would get up a lot to get
But
James
but
Harden.
but what I'm surprised by is that and we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but
Absolutely.
every team's got to be sitting around having a conversation about how do we get James Harden out of
Oh
Houston. The
yeah.
guy's too good. He's too much of a scorer. I mean, trust me, we're gonna get into like top five players of the league and everything. He's in that top five. I mean, he to me, he's there. I mean, the guy, he's unguardable.
But as an owner and general manager, you have 2 years on your contract. I'm not gonna give you up for nothing. You either play out the 2 years or it's going to be
A
a big
resign or something.
trade,
Yeah,
right? Right.
yeah.
Big trade. Or I can get another star. So it'd be interesting to see what happens in Houston. Kind of glad of this one because that gives the Mavericks a better chance at moving up in the standings. Come
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, so we'll
Well,
see.
let's talk about another superstar in the East and find out what this guy's gonna do, and that's the two-time back-to-back MVP
He's
the
going
last
to
2 years.
Golden State next year.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm gonna try to say his name. Giannis, the Greek freak. Let's just say that. That's easier to say.
He's gonna be the
Um,
highest paid player in the NBA.
okay, so does he turn down this 200 whatever $1 million on the 21st of December? Does he turn that down?
No, I'm gonna tell you, just from the taking Dak Prescott with the Cowboys, I'm gonna compare those two. He should
Hmm.
have took the money,
Yeah,
and we know they did. Milwaukee did help him out a little bit. They did. Who did they go get? Milwaukee got
they went
Drew
and got
Holiday,
they got Drew Holiday. Yeah.
George Hill. So he got some shooters around,
Hmm.
and we'll see. We will see.
I mean, come on, man. Are we to believe that this Bucks team
I know
that's won the most amount of games the last 2 years, has had the MVP of the league the last 2 years? Are they going to do anything different when the playoffs come around?
Well, for the last couple of years, they've controlled the East. If you know you're going to the playoffs every year in the East, you know you have
But
eventually
they
get
have
to
but
the
they have no finals appearances to show for it.
now they know. But did they get better? That's the
No,
question.
they think. I don't think they got better.
I think
I don't
he'll
think they
play
got
out
better.
this year. I think he'll play out this year. and just hold out. The money be better next year because of what 72 game season next year. They probably go to a full schedule. The money be better. Uh,
The money, I think he could sign the same deal next
somewhere.
year. Yeah, at the end of this year for the same amount of time
Right,
and money. But
right.
I think this deal, this max deal, I think the 21st is the deadline though for that. If he has to sign it by the 21st of
Yeah,
December to get that, or else you know we kind of know he may not be staying.
yeah, that's true. But he could do one of the Anthony Davis deal later on down the line, force
What
his
what
way
I
out.
mean, but what do
You know,
but what do you think? Seeing watching Giannis play the last few years, he's been in the league, seeing what he's done in Milwaukee, what he's accomplished. I mean, if he doesn't win a title, Royce, I mean, he's gonna go down
no,
with names like Steve Nash, with names like Allen Iverson,
Charles
you
Barkley,
know, Charles Barkley, guys that won MVPs but never won a ring. I
right,
mean, do you think? Do you? And I liken it to Kevin Durant, right, where he was at OKC.
right, right.
We knew he was the best player in the league. He won the MVP, but he just
But
knew he didn't have any titles to go along with that. So he made the move. He turned down the money, made the move, and went to Golden State, got him 2 rings, 2 Finals MVPs. So I think Giannis is almost like very similar circumstances. But
yeah, but he's in
does
it.
he want the ring or does he want the money? Does he want to stay where he's at?
Well, what a good predicament to be in. I mean, he's in the driver's seat. If you think about it, he's in the driver's seat. He can force a trade. We've seen that done. Anthony Davis did it.
Hmm.
He was the best player. He got stuck in New Orleans. He forced his way out. We know that can happen now. Or he can take the money and be one of the highest paid players in the league, or he can go for a ring.
Hmm.
It depends on what he want to do. Either way, he's gonna come out ahead. He's in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think though, if he hasn't signed it yet, that tells me that he's
Yeah,
truly undecided. You know what I
right.
mean? When someone's telling you I'm going to pay you $221 million,
You got to think about
and you gotta take the time to think about it like this and go to the deadline.
it. Right.
You're already telling everybody there's a little indecision in there. It doesn't take that long to think
Absolutely.
about $220 million. I'm sorry,
Absolutely. I
it don't
wonder
take
who's
that
in his
long.
ear. I wonder who's in his ear. That's a
Well,
good.
that's what I don't know. I mean, he's kind of very quiet. He doesn't do a lot on social media. He's not the most popular guy.
And,
So who
and,
knows what he's thinking?
and the bad thing about it, his brother's on the Lakers. If his brother gets a ring before him, you know, how would that make him feel?
Man, it's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting.
It'll be
But
interesting.
by the next time we do our show, we may have more details about that.
Everything should be set in place.
Yeah, everything should be set in place. I mean, they start actually playing games, I think, on the 11th, if I'm not mistaken, preseason games on the 11th. So I'm going to be
Okay.
watching all of it. I want to see what everybody looks like. My money's on the Lakers to repeat this year. But we're going to get into our top five going into this new NBA season. First, our top five players in the league, Royce. I'll give the floor to you so you can give me your list of top five
You're not
players
gonna
in the
like it.
league. Players in the league right now.
I'm gonna give you my top five, and this may not be in order. James Harden,
Okay.
Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, Nicole Jokic, and this is gonna surprise you, Carl Anthony Towns.
Oh, that's a huge surprise. Okay, so your top five players in the league,
Reason why I left,
in the entire league. Oh, wait, let me get this right.
reason why I left
James,
Steph
hold
Curry
on, hold
out.
on. Let me get this right. James Harden. Who was the next guy?
Anthony Davis,
Anthony Davis, Luka
Luka,
Doncic, the Joker, Jokic,
yeah.
and Carl Anthony Towns.
No, I forgot Giannis. I forgot him.
Okay, so
Cut out,
you gotta take
call that,
one off then.
call that
Take.
down. I'll take him off.
Okay, so Giannis. Wow, I'm shocked at that list.
Reason why I said that,
I'm shocked.
huh?
I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
I know you shot. Okay, you can't dispute Harden.
I can't. Your Harden's in my top five for sure.
It's dispute Anthony Davis.
Okay, I can
Can't
live with
dispute
that.
Luca.
Okay,
Luca.
I can live with that.
Now your 4 and 5, I can see you disagreeing with me.
Yeah.
So let me hear your top 5.
Okay. In no order, as you said, I got Harden. I got Luca. I got Anthony Davis. I got
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Durant. Put some
Yeah.
respect on his name.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant and Steph Curry.
Well, the reason why I left those two off, because they're coming off injuries. And we saw what happened to Clay Thompson.
Okay.
We thought he would be back playing. I hadn't seen, I know Kevin Durant's the best player on the planet, but I hadn't seen him play in a year.
So you did see he immediately falls out of the top five because they ain't seen him play.
I'm going by top 5 eligible players.
they are they are. Now look, not Joker can ball, but it's debatable. To me, it's even debatable whether Joker is better than Jamal Murray on that team. The way Jamal Murray played it in the last one, and I'm out on Giannis all the way. Giannis is not in my top five. You got to be able to at least shoot to be in the top five, and you got to be at least able to, I think, get your
Okay.
team over the
I take
over the
him out,
hump.
and I replace him with Steph Curry. I can't
Okay,
leave him.
you gonna leave Kevin Durant at your top five?
Kevin Durant is 6. I hadn't
Woo,
seen him play. I know,
man,
I know, I know. I'm going
that's
out on a
tough.
limb.
You on a limb,
I'm
boy.
going out on a limb. But
That limb is about as thin as that Christmas tree
I
behind
know. Okay, let's do this though. I'm gonna go with Harden,
you. Okay,
Luca, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant,
okay.
and I'm gonna change mine to Steph Curry. I gotta agree.
All right, so we agree.
Okay.
We agree. Now notice there's some bubble guys. I want to
Listen,
get your thoughts on Kawhi Leonard,
right. Damian Lillard,
Damian Lillard.
Trey Young,
Um,
Trey
man,
Young.
Trey Young's not in. He's not even in consideration yet.
Yeah, but he was in a
Um,
running with Luca for a while. Remember for
yeah, but we know Luka's obviously a much better player. We know that.
He's got Rondo there.
Well, we know Luka's a much better player,
Oh yeah, I agree.
and we know
Okay,
he's a much better player. So, I mean,
so
he's definitely in my top
we
five.
agree on we agree on at least 4, and number 5 is
I think we agree on five. Honestly, if you're putting, well, you said Durant 6, right?
yeah.
Steph Curry's 5.
He can move up
Okay, we'll see.
and play. But
That's it.
I'm looking at that Clay Thompson got me worried.
Well, why is
Couple
that
of
got what?
injuries.
Why? But that means there's more shots for Steph Curry.
That's true. That's true. But
That's what that means.
he's coming off injury too. So
Well, we know if that would have been in contention, he would have played.
he's just the best shooter. Period. So
Okay, yeah, exactly. Right,
right.
right. So let's talk about top five teams in each conference, starting with the Eastern Conference first. And again,
Okay.
we're only going with what's on paper, what
Top
happened
5.
last year, what's happening in the off season, but just your top five teams in the East. And you got to put these in order.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with the West. Here's my list.
Nah, go to the East first. Go to the East first.
Okay. Bucks, the Heat, the Raptors, Boston. Now let me take that back. The Bucks, the Raptors, Brooklyn, Miami, and Boston.
In that order.
In that order.
So you got the Bucks number 1, got the Raptors number 2, got the Heat number 3, the Nets 4, and the Celtics 5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, mine might shock you then.
Okay. I'm ready.
So number 1, I've got the Nets. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, I have the Heat.
Okay.
Number 3, I have the Wizards.
Oh.
I got the Wizards number 3.
Okay.
Number 4, I have the Celtics.
Okay.
And for 5, I've got the Bucks.
And you left the Raptors out.
I left the Raptors off.
Okay, they made
Left the
surprise.
Raptors off.
Good players. They've been there before. The guys are hungry.
Now, just because I left them off doesn't mean they're not going to make the playoffs. I still think they'll make the playoffs in that top 8, but they're not a top 5 team in the East.
Well, I'm at this point where you got to show me. And
the Wizards are so much better than what people want to give them credit for. I just think people do not understand what's going to happen when Russell Westbrook is unleashed on the Eastern Conference.
I'm going by what I've seen, and the rest of them have to show me. You understand what I'm saying? I hadn't seen Brooklyn play a complete season yet together.
Mm-hmm.
Yet to see the Wizards complete the whole season. I've seen the Raptors. I've seen what the Bucks can do. I've seen what Boston, Miami.
Miami's going to be good.
Yes, they are going to be good.
Miami's going to be good. That's a team that you do not want to play round 1 in the playoffs.
Out of order on this Brooklyn, right?
I got Brooklyn first.
I take out the Raptors, right?
Yeah, I got the Raptors out. I got Brooklyn first. Then I got the Heat. Then I got the Wizards. And then I have who else? I got the Wizards, the Celtics, and then the Bucks. Okay. And notice I don't have the 76ers in my top 5 either.
Me, they have to show me first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the West. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay, great. I'm glad you did. So for the West, the number 1 champs and soon to be defending champs, the Los Angeles Lakers are definitely the number 1 team.
Bubble champs.
Well, they like I said, we both agreed that was a tough championship. So let's not go back on that.
We need the championship, Rodney.
Let's not go back on it. This is not the show.
The Mavericks had players hurt.
This is not the show to debate. We just agreed. We just agreed. If you rewind the tape, we just agreed that there was one of the hardest championships ever in history to win.
Who was the most competition?
Okay, so I got the Lakers number 1. Let me give you my list. I got the Lakers 1.
Okay.
Now this may shock a few people, okay, but I got Dallas number 2.
Wow.
I got Dallas number 2. I'm all in on the Mavs. Ahead of the Clippers.
Wow.
I've got the Warriors 3. I got the Clippers 4. And this may shock some people too, but I got the Phoenix Suns at 5.
Wow. Just forget about
Notice I the bubble teams I have are the Pelicans. Really, honestly and truly, I should take out.
Yeah.
I should take out the Suns and put the Nuggets in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can't.
Yeah, I should take out the Suns and.
Bragged about Jamal Murray.
Yeah. So I got Lakers, Mavs, Warriors,
wow.
Clippers, Nuggets.
Wow. Mavs number 2. Okay.
Mavs number 2.
I got the Lakers. I got the Clippers. I believe in Tyrone Lou, and I think they won't come back. I got the Mavs number 3.
Okay.
I got the Nuggets number 4.
Okay.
And surprisingly, I got the Jazz, number 5.
What?
Utah.
You got the Jazz ahead of the Warriors?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, they Jazz is number 6. I got the Warriors
Okay.
number.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to check, make sure. Check
Okay,
your math over there.
the Lakers,
Okay.
the Clippers,
Okay.
the Mavs, the Nuggets. I mean the Warriors and the Nuggets.
Okay.
So
So what is Houston ranking?
Utah is on the bubble.
Utah's on the bubble. Portland.
Portland's on the bubble, and Phoenix.
What about some of the young teams like Memphis, New Orleans?
Memphis not ready.
Memphis not gonna. Who makes the playoffs? For
You got Van Gundy down in New Orleans, new coaching staff.
the Suns will make the playoffs. I think
I think they come
the Suns will be a new team in the playoffs. The Warriors are gonna make the playoffs.
5, 6, 7 for the Portland. Phoenix.
Mm.
And we didn't even say Portland.
That's what I'm saying.
The West is hard.
The West is tough.
The West is very difficult.
The West is tough.
You got a lot of good teams. And I didn't hear you say the Rockets.
Well, that's what I was asking. Do you think the Rockets? Where do you think they? I don't think they're a top 5 team.
Well,
I don't think Harden's going to be there. I really don't. I just don't think this is going to end.
He's a great regular season player. It's to take he can lead a team during the regular season. It's the playoffs where he has trouble.
And how do you coach and how do you play with a guy that doesn't want to be there? I mean, you can't. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
He was childish, man. I really do. He came to a bad situation. Great guy, and he doesn't deserve it.
Well, if the ownership and the new GM wanted to do right by the new coach, they trade James Harden now. Okay. They get rid of him now. They wouldn't even keep this headache. These questions he's got to answer. They wouldn't even keep it.
You got to give me 2 A and B players. Top 10, top 15. 2 out of the top 15 players to get the trade. But if you're Houston, would you take the number 2 pick in the draft and James Wiseman, a future first round pick, Andre Wiggins? I just blow it up. Would you take all of that for James Harden? James Harden, especially if he doesn't want to be there. You don't want nobody that doesn't want to be there. I got a good question for you. We know the Mavs didn't do a big blockbuster trade. They wanted a big enough 3 to go with Luka and Porzingis. Who do you think they should have went after for the free agent? Oh man, I got a list. And you tell me who they should have went after. They did try to go up to Jay Crowder. They tried to bring him back. They wanted to offer him a 1-year deal. I think they want to get better defense. Yeah, they did in the draft. Josh Green's a good defensive player. Richardson, good defensive player. But it doesn't hurt to have a veteran in there, Yeah. I'll give you a list. Who you think they should have went after? Or they still can go after. Okay. Well, Avery Bradley's off the board, so I can't count him. Okay. Zach LaVine. That's a good. Serge Ibaka. But he's a Clipper, right? The Mavericks could have had it. Yeah. Paul Millsap. Good veteran, but man, you talk about going Jarvis. Yeah, then he re-signed with Miami. Yeah, but they could have went after him. Yeah. Gallinari, they could have went after him. And another guy they can still get, and I kind of like it, Kent Bazemore. He can shoot the 3. I thought Kent Bazemore went back to Golden State. Yeah, but he was a free agent. That's what I'm saying. The Mavericks could have pursued that guy. He can shoot the 3. Since he can play defense. Play defense. They want to get better, and all those guys are good defensive players. They lost Steph Curry, shooting the 3. I thought they should have went after one of those guys. Some of them they could still pursue. Yeah. But I think that would have made them that much better they would have got that number 2 spot that you talked
Hmm.
about.
Yeah.
At the one of those trades.
Well,
Gallinari would have been great.
I
He'd
think
been great.
I think all those would have been an improvement. I mean, it would have been good to get them, but
Right.
I also think that the number one thing that the Mavs need is to be healthy. I think that's the critical piece for them is to have a healthy Luka, a healthy Porzingis, Jalen Brunson back, Dwight Powell back, Willie Cauley-Stein back. I mean, they just need to be they have their depth that they had and be healthy. And I think they can be they could easily have made it to they could have beat the Clippers last year if they would have been healthy and
Oh
had all
yeah,
other guys. They could have beat the Clippers.
absolutely.
You
I
know,
agree with
so
you. But the one thing that I want to see out of the Mavs, I want to see Rick Carlisle coach his ass off.
yeah,
And
well, that's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying, he had the players, and this would make or break him for me if I was Mark Cuban. You got the players. I expect better, but you should be able to coach your ass off with this team.
But that's not. I mean, but
And we
Rick.
know how he gets in sometimes, but you got the players. You got the roster.
Okay, but what it but honestly, at this point, for what we've seen going into Luka's third year, I mean, the only coaching he needs to do is to let Luka do what he needs to do. Is let
Right.
him be a general out there on the floor. You know, let him put guys in position, let him go out there and flow and be good. I mean, that's what he needs to do. That and work on defense. I mean, he doesn't have to do a lot of drawing
And
up
take
plays, X's and O's. I mean,
Smith out of the start lineup.
yeah,
That's what I agree. Powell will be back. That'll
yeah,
make him better. Take Benny Smith out. I think one of these new guys can beat him out. I think Richardson probably could beat him out. He's the
yeah.
better.
They're gonna be a tough team, man. They're gonna be, and the way the schedule is set up, I think if the Mavs can just go ahead and get out to a great start,
That's
um,
that's a key.
that they'll be fine. I mean, some of these teams that like the Lakers, I don't expect them to come out to a very fast start. I expect them to rest and get ready for the playoffs, get ready for the stretch run, kind of build themselves back into shape. I think the Heat will do the same thing.
Yeah.
Some of those other teams that play late into the playoffs, I think they'll start out a little bit slower than most. That's why I think they have a good opportunity to make the 2 seed.
Yeah, but I think that like the Lakers are riding on the high, man. We the champions, We go tear everybody up this year.
And let's not forget
Like people
they
like
got
me,
better too. They got much better.
like people like me kept saying that this championship was a fluke. I think they got something to prove this year. I think they're gonna come out on fire. New lineup, LeBron James. I'm pretty sure he's working out right now as we speak. So we'll see. It's gonna be real interesting. I can't wait. I hope everything get back to normal so people can go to the game.
Yeah.
To watch it on TV, it's nothing like live. Being there live at the game. But another thing I want to bring up: coaching changes.
Yeah. Well,
Steve Nash,
you talked about Ty Lue.
Steve Nash. Your opinion?
Well, you got to throw Doc Rivers in there too.
Right.
Yeah.
My
well, I think Steve Nash has got the best situation out of all of them. I mean, Steve Nash already had a relationship with Kevin Durant from his time with the Warriors. He's a point guard. I mean, so he can get along with Kyrie a little bit better. I've never been sold on Ty Lue as a coach. Let me just say that. I've never been sold on Ty Lue as a coach.
Well, he's a championship coach.
Yeah, I know he is. I give him that. Don't get me wrong. I give him that. The other thing that bothers me about the Ty Lue hiring is, he was there, on that coaching,
right.
That coaching squad last year when they blew that 3-1 lead. He was there. He was a part of that. So it's not like they're getting someone new with the new message. And he learned everything about coaching from Doc. I mean, they picked him because they thought he would be an easy transition from Doc Rivers. They're very similar. So I don't know if they're going to get a different style, a different approach that is gonna, have a different outcome. Honestly, I just don't think so. They didn't get any better. I mean, they didn't
But
add any critical pieces. They added Serge Ibaka, but they lost the sixth man of the year
right.
to the
But
Lakers.
I,
So
and I wonder what kind of relationship he has with the players. He may have been the guy that the players went to instead of going to Doc, you know, for things. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He does have a championship. LeBron seems to think he's good. He got the hire, and he could be a potential. But let me go down the list and you tell me what you think. Okay.
okay,
And Steve Nash, you already said that you think he has the best position. I think he's going to be a great coach. I think he's
yeah,
going
I
to
think so too. I think
lift
so
that,
too.
make him better. Okay, the Bulls, Billy Donovan.
That's a terrible hire. He
Yeah.
he was terrible in OKC. I'm sorry. I mean, I know why they got him because he's known to coach younger players,
Well, he
long
did a good
time
job
college
this year.
coach. He
He
did
did a good
okay,
job.
but man, I I don't think it makes any
What
difference.
do you expect Oklahoma City to land it where they did this year? No. Got to give him
But
credit for that.
I give credit to Chris Paul.
Okay. All right. The Rockets, we said that
Yeah, with Silas.
Stylus. What do you think? I like the
I,
guy.
I like him, man. I think he's in a tough spot right now.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
it.
think I don't think they're doing him any favors with this
Yeah.
Harden
Even,
thing. I mean,
even in
first
the
of
last
all,
song, if the things go bad.
I mean, if they want to give him a shot, they'll trade him.
Right.
So if they want to get, I know that's hard to say. If you're a Rockets fan, you're thinking, man, the guy's talking crazy. But honestly, if you want to give him a good start, good footing to build a program like he wants to, you got to get rid of the players that don't want to be there.
I like to see him with a fresh start.
Yeah,
Fresh, yeah. I think he'll do good. Okay, let's go down to New Orleans. Stan Van Gundy.
man, this is gonna be interesting. Every time I think about Stan Van Gundy, I think about the video where they're interviewing Dwight Howard about some stuff that Stan said
Right.
about him in the press and having a rift and everything. And then Stan walks up, put his arm around Howard. You remember that video?
Yeah.
That I never will forget that. That whole Dwight Howard, Stan Van Gundy scenario. So as you know, players talking to league,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they're going to talk about that.
And
And for,
he's been out a while.
that's what I'm saying. And there's a reason why he's been out for a while.
Yeah.
There's
The
a
Cowboys
reason
went
why
and hired a guy.
Dan Tony's not coaching a team
The
right now.
Cowboys went and hired a guy that has been out the league. How did that do for them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's always a reason why coaches don't get a job when they leave another job. And
Okay.
it's typically from what the players have to say. So, this is
That'll
going to be
be
interesting.
Now he has a good team to work with.
Yeah, but he's a confrontational. I want to be confrontational. I want to put it out of you. And that didn't work with Dwight Howard, as good of a young player as he was. So is that going to work for Zion Williamson? Is he going to respond to that?
Are they going to listen to the old man? That's
what I'm saying. Brandon Ingram's coming off an All-Star game. He's feeling himself. So it is. I don't know. It's a better hire than that. And I feel bad for Alvin Gentry. I was going to say this. I know it's your buddy. I feel bad for him because what I saw was that they said that they're going to remove any minute restrictions from Zion Williamson for this season. Yeah. And had they done that for him in the bubble, probably would have made the playoffs. If they let Alvin play the whole game.
I don't know.
That was a pure GM management decision. That wasn't Alvin's decision. I guarantee you.
His hands were tied. But you got to say, they were pretty good. They were interesting to watch.
Yeah.
They were.
They were great to watch. They were great. I'm going to watch them a lot this year, too.
The Knicks, Tom Thibodeau.
I mean, I'm not a.
Okay, we talking about the Knicks. Anybody?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, what's going to happen? They going to make the playoffs? No.
Yeah, that's just a paycheck.
Yeah, it's a paycheck. That's a
His
paycheck.
paycheck. He's back in, and he's gonna get a. I'm pretty sure they're paying him very well. But that's an improvement for the Knicks. To be
Hmm.
honest with you, that maybe
Well,
that
I
makes
don't
it.
know. I don't know. I think the improvement's not going to come from coaching. You know.
No, it's not gonna come from coach ownership. We're bringing on ownership. Okay, we did Doc Rivers. How you think that's gonna work? 76.
Man, I'm completely out on Doc Rivers as a coach. I wouldn't want Doc Rivers to coach my team at all. I just wouldn't. He's lost too many leads in the playoffs. He's lost, too many series in the playoffs. I know he's got those titles with Boston and the Big Three. I get that, but that was almost 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think
That was at least 10 years ago. I
now
just,
and
yeah, I'm
bring the
done.
fans. We got Doc Rivers as a coach.
Yeah, I'm
I
done.
sure a
I'm
lot
done with that.
the Sixers fans love that. Because we got Doc Rivers. And I don't know about that. The jury's out on that. And last but not least, uh, Tyrone Lou with the
Yeah,
Clippers.
like I said, Lou is going to be the same message that Doc was sending. I don't think
Makes
he
sense.
changed as much. I don't think Lou can walk in that locker room and really just command that room. You got Kawhi.
Whose team? Whose team is it?
It's Kawhi's team. He's got the most power of any player in the
Right.
league. I mean, they're paying for his property taxes.
I know.
He's got a chartered helicopters back and forth to practice. You know what I mean? It's like he's not no coach can come in
And tell
and just kind of tell him, okay, I need you to practice. I need you to play every game. And then you got other personalities in there. You still got Patrick Beverly. You still got Lou Williams. I mean, these guys were in their locker room and part of their team last year, just like you were. We all
Paul,
lost. We all
Paul
lost
George
the 3-1 lead.
Yeah, Paul George said you got
Yeah, it's the same. It's just running it back with the same guys.
got 6 man with the hot wings, so
Yeah.
yes, yeah. It'd be interesting. I agree with you on that list, but some of these highs they could have done better. But I mean, who's available?
There are a lot of guys available, man. They're guys that deserve
I would
the
rather
shot.
see him go get an assistant coach that's been on the bench,
Right.
that's been around, that needs a chance to start. You know what I mean? And see what they can do. And it's a lot of good assistant coaches.
And I think next year we may see the first woman head coach
Yeah.
in the league. Honestly, I really do. I think next year might be. I think the Spurs, if Pop does retire, I think they would hire their woman assistant coach to be their head coach.
Right. Now, if I was the Knicks, the Sixers, New Orleans, the Pacers, the Rockets, and them, that's who I would have went after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have went after him
Yeah.
because he spent his time been in San Antonio, something different. He might have been glad to go 1 or 2 years somewhere different for a while. Great coach. That would have been my choice for hire any franchise.
But I think any franchise would fire
I,
whoever they have and bring
I
Pop in.
pursued him, really bad. Okay.
Hmm.
And one more thing I want to talk about, Joe. Like,
Go for it. Our championship Lakers.
what do you think about their acquisition, what they lost and what they gained? First, I'm gonna tell you who they lost.
Okay.
A.V. Bradley,
Okay. Which he wasn't there in the bubble anyway. Go
but he
ahead.
was during the regular season.
Go ahead.
He's part of them getting the record they did. Danny Green,
Okay.
Dwight Howard,
Okay.
JaVale McGee,
Okay.
playoff Rondo.
Okay. Well, what do we gain?
Okay, you got Schroeder,
Take that. That's Rondo light. I'll take that.
Mark Gasol,
That's better than JaVale McGee and better than Dwight Howard. I'll take that.
Wesley Matthews. Yeah, but he ain't got the hops like he used to.
Well, Wes, I bet you Wes shoot just as good as Danny Green, if not better. So I'll take that.
Monteiro Harrell.
I take that all day long. I take that all day long.
Did the Lakers get better?
The Lakers got extremely better. Extremely better. That's why they're my number one team in the West and in the league. They got so much better, Royce. I mean, they got better. They got extremely better.
Schroeder could take some of the weight off of LeBron.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
out. Gasol can hit the three. He can open up the lane. I give him that because he can step back and shoot the three. I don't see him doing much on rebound and block shots.
Okay.
Wesley Matthews, I can stand him at Dallas, but I, the guy can play. He can play defense. You can put him on your best player. He will take James Harden. He'll take
Hmm.
Steph Curry. He's gonna take Luca. I can't wait till that first game. He's gonna be on Luca and Montel Harris.
Yeah.
I think he's a part of the happiest guy that's been traded all year.
Hmm.
I mean, you talking about being a trader.
I mean, he took a 1 year deal to come there.
I
What does
know.
that say? But
I think
here's
he's the
but here
best
but
player
think about
organization.
this. Think about this starting five. Okay, Schroeder, Caldwell Pope, LeBron, Anthony Davis, Mark Gasol. That's your starting five.
Okay.
That's your starting five. Coming off the bench,
You got Matthews.
coming off the bench, you got Harold, Matthews, Kyle Kuzma, the Morris twin.
Yeah. That's,
I mean, that's coming off your bench. That's coming off your bench.
hey, hey. We'll see. They gonna miss Rondo.
Dion Waiters, I keep him around. Come off the bench.
Yeah. They gonna miss the cheerleader, JaVale McGee. He was the biggest
Yeah, yeah,
cheerleader.
and he might be back. You never know. He might come back.
He's gone.
He might come back.
JaVale, now JaVale signed with let me find that. I got it here somewhere.
They might cut him. They might just give rid dump some salary.
There you go. He went to the Cavs. He signed with the Cavs. Where did Dwight Howard go?
Dwight Howard went to man. Who was that?
I can't remember.
I can't even
Okay.
remember either. Somebody in the East though. I
Okay.
think.
Portland got Enes Kanter. That's gonna help them.
Hmm.
Seth Curry went to the Sixers.
Hmm.
Chris Paul to the Suns. Kelly Oubre went with the Warriors. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeremy
Like I
Grant
say,
with the Pistons. I don't think that's gonna do any good. But
yeah, that's a nice. That was a loss for Denver though.
Lakers also got George Bell.
Yeah.
He'd be good to come up to it. Cavs got JaVale McGee. The T-Wolves got Ricky Rubio and
Hmm.
Ed Davis. That's not bad. Thunder we know you got George Hill. Bucks Drew Holiday. Pelicans. I forgot this. Don't really make them a difference. Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah. From
You got
Milwaukee.
the best center, second best center in the league, Steven Adams.
Yeah. I mean, Steven Adams would be good. Steven
He
Adams
be
would be
good.
good.
He's good, good passer. He's a good rebounder. He can, get Zion the ball. He's a great passer.
Yeah, he'd be good.
I think the Hawks got real good. That's my surprise team in the East.
What team is that? You're breaking up a little bit.
The Hawks.
Oh, the Hawks. Okay.
I see them look in the spot in the playoffs.
Yeah,
But that's
Dwight
not
Howard
coming.
went to the 76ers.
That's right. That's right. That's right. 76. Okay. All right. So what do you think? I think we covered just about everything, didn't we?
Yeah, we covered just about everything, man. But as we know, season once it gets started here next week, the stories will continue to develop. We'll know more about James Harden by that time. We'll get a chance, hopefully, to see a couple of teams how they perform.
Yeah.
I think the Mavs open up on the 11th with
Milwaukee.
is it Milwaukee?
Yeah, the Bucks. They play the Bucks twice, I think.
Let me look this up real quick here.
And if you look at the Mavericks schedule in December, they
Yeah,
play the Warriors twice in the week, so they'll be here all week.
yeah, they play this Saturday. They play the Bucks. You're right. And then play them again on Monday.
In December, the Warriors will be here for back to back, but the Mavericks not back to back, but it's like 2 days different. But they'll be in town for a whole week.
In December?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that in December.
See maybe January. See where they play the Warriors?
Yeah, it's in February,
February.
the
Isn't it
4th and the 6th.
right in Dallas?
Hmm.
Wow, they be here a whole week.
Yeah, it's kind of how the NBA is doing their schedule. They do a Suns matchup like that too. They play the Suns on the 30th, then again on the 1st. They play the Jazz on the 27th, again on the 29th. I mean, they're doing those
Yeah,
to try to contain guys from having to travel so much. You know,
yeah.
it's playing kind of little series or whatever.
We get to have teams here for more than one night.
Hmm.
Like that's not bad. Well, I hope we get to go. I hope the fans get to go. I hope this pandemic is over. I'm ready to get back to normal. I miss my basketball. You know how that is. I miss
Hmm.
basketball. But excuse me, right? That was my phone. But anyway, until next time, I'm ready.
No doubt. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check us out next week. We'll be back signing off for the R Sports Radio Show. My name is Rodney. That's Royce, and we'll see you guys next week.